Hello everyone. MC is back from less than a day, and this time I wanted to do something kind of different, which is I show you how I draw. I just kind of wanted to, for those who were curious, I just kind of wanted to teach you how I draw people. You kind of saw it on the what was it? The one premiere I did. But they're not really like humans. They're kind of like ponies, I guess. So, and that one I wasn't really trying on that hard. So, this time I'm gonna be a little more, I don't know. I'm gonna do better at it. So, I'm gonna bring up a reference of a character that I'm gonna draw. I'm just gonna find out what character I should do. I'll do Alex. Now, he's not really completely human, as you can see by the purple on him. But I feel like he has the most normal hair of any of the characters that I have, so I figured I'd just, roll with that. So what I do is I use 3 or 4 main line art colors, which is green, blue, red, and black. And black is my final line art. So usually I use green for extra objects in the area, like for environment, I suppose. Blue I use for the planning out the pose, so it basically looks like a stick man. And red is the first line art, I guess you could say. And all but the black end up being like 50% transparent, so that I can just draw over it easily. But sometimes I forget to make it transparent. I don't know how. But anyway. So I'm not going to do an environment this time. Because I'm just teaching how to do humans. But maybe I'll try it on this dragon looking thing here. I don't know. I never really use green for that one. So anyway, I usually crop it at the end when I have the finished line art, or even when I'm done coloring it. So I usually start off with this. I use the circle tool, but I try not to make it apparent in the final thing. And kind of just want to make sure that it's the right size so that the entire body can fit onto the canvas. So you do like a neck, and usually my necks are long, and it's okay if things aren't perfectly like perfect lines like this, because no one's ever gonna see this unless you're doing a speed draw. It's not gonna be your final thing, so it doesn't matter. And next you kind of do like a shoulder thing, but you don't want to make it too long or too short, because, you know, I mean, usually the average human in real life will have one that's longer than this. But since I'm a cartoonist and I don't really follow the rules, then I don't care. So it's just gonna be this short. And I'm not really sure what pose to do him in. I guess I'll do like him waving, maybe. So sometimes I do a circle for the hand so that you can see where the hand is positioned. So it could be like this, or like this even. But it's just gonna be like this. And sometimes I even put lines to indicate where the fingers will be, but not always. I usually do that on the red outline part. Whenever I'm doing like a complicated drawing, I like to use this kind of line art, the blue and the red. But if it's something that I rush, like the redrawing the tracers, then I'll just do the black outline right away. unless I need help with a pose. And he's just gonna have his other arm to the side. Now, something important is making sure that the proportions are correct with the arms, making sure that they're the same length. So what I usually do is I grab the arm, or hold on, let me retry that. I make it like this. So I put it like that, and then I grab the entire arm and I rotate it. And if it's not the same length, then I will fix it. And it is clearly not the same length. This is the final one. Not really the final one. Let me hide that. Let me make this... Maybe I should make it green so that it's easier to... So what I do to change the outline color, just in case, is I go over it with green, or use Protect Alpha, which makes it so that only the outlines are affected. That's without Protect Alpha, and this is with Protect Alpha. And that was the wrong thing. Hold on. So yeah, you want to make sure that the proportions are the same on each side. And I changed the pen size. I should turn off Protect Alpha now. And that's about the same. And then I usually just do a straight line for the spine. And it's just shorter than the arms. And the head looks a little big, but again, since I'm a cartoonist, I don't really follow the rules. And it'll probably end up smaller. You know what? I'm just going to shrink it a little bit. It looks too big. Maybe that's a little too small. I don't know. It's not done yet. So usually I do the hips right about there. And just kind of erase the extra part. And it looks like I might need to move them up just a little bit. And then I just kind of do the position for the legs. I don't usually draw feet because I don't really give characters feet. That's kind of outdated. It's like a month old, so he does have feet, but I'm trying to make it so that they don't really have feet anymore. So anyway, that's the first line art thing. Now, the next one is the red outline, which again, I just use the circle tool for the head, but in the final thing, it'll look more like that. So anyway, I do like and if the neck looks too long, I'll just move the head down and just, I need to rotate that a little bit. Okay, there we go. It's gonna make it a little longer. Anyway, and then I just kind of do the body. Like, there's the arm. It doesn't look great. So usually what I do, if one part looks longer than the other, is I'll do this. Which kind of proportions it a little bit, but it still looks a little odd. So I'm gonna lengthen that a little bit. Now, no one can do perfect line art on the first try, obviously. Sometimes you'll need to erase things. Sometimes you'll need to change the proportions of things. And that's completely fine. That's completely normal. You know, everyone makes mistakes, even if they're like small art mistakes. And then I just kind of... I don't know why I give characters short fingers sometimes. I guess because I have short fingers. I guess that just kind of leaks onto my art or something. So let me show what it looks like when it's like the final line art. This will look a little more natural than how it looks now. But yeah, and then he's just kind of got his other arm to the side. And I'm not really a person to use like the curve tool when drawing, unless it's like the face or something. So that's with the curve tool, and this is just fine. So my line art is a bit messy, but honestly it's a lot easier for me to draw with it, like without the curve tool. And then I guess just kind of, usually what I do with the hands when they're off to the side is I just kind of do that, which is, I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's just kind of like a hand position that it looks natural, I suppose. I don't know. And then the body, okay. I might use the curve tool here. Now, a thing that I used to do, which I'm going to show an example of. So, I used to do the arms in front of the body, and okay, I must criticize my leg there. Something that I used to do is I put the arms in front of the body. I know this looks like a perspective thing, but it would probably be more like this either way. Or even like the arm would just be like that. But I just used to put the arms in front of the body. Like, let me show an example. Here's the body, and then here are the arms. I just kind of do this. And what you're supposed to do is that, because the arms do not always go in front of the body naturally. I mean, unless you're a weirdo. But usually the arms are just kind of to the side, not really like in front. So you just want to make sure that, oh, okay. Don't mind my, what is that? Shimeji? I don't know how to say it. He might crawl over on this monitor a few times, but just don't mind him. He's a curious boy. Anyway. So yeah, usually the shirt ends. Usually what I've realized is when I went to a store, I saw that the shirts were like shorter than the sleeves. So I was like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good drawing tip for myself. So I decided to start ending the shirt before the sleeves. And so it looked a little more correct, I suppose. Let me just fix this arm real quick, it's kind of bothering me. I mean, again, you're not really going to see this line art, so it can be as messy as it needs to be. And anyway, the legs, I'm just going to use the line tool for this, because like I said like 3 times, my hand is shaky on this computer, and this is the only computer that I can record on, for reasons. Usually I do like a triangle shape for the legs, and I don't always draw the feet on the red outline, because I'll just do that later. And usually I make the legs like a lot larger in comparison, because like the body is like, the legs are like half the body, and then this is the other half, which is pretty strange, but I'm not going to judge the body on its evolutionary choices. So anyway, usually I just combine those frames, or whatever the heck they're called, and then I just get to the final line art. Again, I start off with the circle tool. I'm going to make this a little more transparent, because that's like, how much transparency? 20%. Okay, like 20 or 30% is usually best for me. So what I do is I kind of, please don't judge me on this because it looks weird at first, but what you do is you kind of cut off the circle, you go out like that, you kind of get rid of the chin, because I don't like chins, and my shimeji just cloned itself, thank you. Anyway. Yeah, you kind of do that. Okay, it just cloned itself again. Can you not? I'm trying to do something here. Can you get out of here? Okay. Anyway, don't mind him. So what you do is you just kind of erase the other parts of the circle, like this. Might take a few seconds. Now, this may look like big brain time, but but the hair usually covers that, and if they're bald, then I find a way around it. So his hair is like very bushy, as you can see, but this is some of the other characters that I have who have like weird hair. I don't think I redrew him. I should probably do that. Anyway, yeah, he probably has the most natural looking hair, so I just kind of went with that. So you just kind of, is that correct? Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's my character. I can change whatever I want with him. And then just kind of goes out with the hair, I believe, and then that covers most of the forehead, because the forehead takes up about 1/3 of the head, so you want to make sure that it's still there somewhere. You can see on the circle that it's like, you know, well actually it's like around a half, actually, just kind of like the legs. But yeah, anyway, you can move up the hairline if you need to. Sometimes I need to do that. It looks like I need to do it here, so I'm just gonna move that up a bit. And I just kind of fix the lines. Okay. I don't draw ears, by the way, so this is just how I draw people. It's not how you're supposed to draw people. I'm just kind of giving tips. Like if you're looking for ways to draw a person, then you can take some tips from me. And please don't trace me. I don't want people to trace me. I'm sure no one is going to, except for the fact that my line art is just like a pure black, so you could just do that. But when I shade it, sometimes it doesn't do that. Anyway, yeah, and the face, usually sometimes I'll do that last, so I'm gonna do that last. The expression is kind of like a different thing here, because I have very cartoony expressions. I'm not gonna show that, actually. So, yeah, I'm just gonna redraw over the red line art and just add some details that I missed, such as like this neck rest around his neck, and the torn shirt, and then the tail, and the belt, and stuff like that will be added in the final line art. And sometimes, can you go away? Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'll put in those details if I need to, just to like see where everything needs to go. But sometimes I'll just leave it like this with no details. And I zoom in and zoom out a lot, as you will see. Oh no, he's sitting down like a good boy. Anyway, I have trouble with this. The chest and the legs, sometimes I have trouble with that. I need to fix it sometimes, and it's okay. You can always go back and fix things if it doesn't look correct. So you need to zoom out and see the proportions sometimes, because if you don't see the proportions, then things will look really wacky. Kind of like what Crystal used to do before he got arrested. Yeah, you need to make sure that you zoom out and make sure that everything looks correct. Like the arm being longer than the body, and the head being the right size for the body, and the legs being longer than the body. Stuff like that. So usually I'll do, I don't really know what I do. Okay, that looks really wacky. Hold on. I'll do the fingers like that. There, I think that's good enough. Sometimes if you need to remove the baseline art, I call it, to see what it looks like, then I recommend that, because it looks, it helps you make sure that things are looking correct. Anyway, the legs, I have trouble with this, so I'm just going to use the curve tool. And it might need to be just a little bit shorter. I don't usually check proportions with the legs, because I don't really feel the need to. But yeah, anyway, you gotta give him a PP. How else is he gonna go PP? Sorry, that was incorrect. Anyway, and then I just kind of do like this through the shoes, or I'll do like something else sometimes. Okay, that doesn't look right. It'll usually like go out and then go back up in a straight line. I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, and now I just gotta add the details, such as, I will start with the neck rest. Oh right, the facial expression. I'll do that last. So he's just kind of got a, I don't know why, I don't know where the neck rest thing came from. He used to, his original design used to have it. And so I was just like, well, I wasn't really sure what it was. It might have been like shoulder pads or something, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this a neck rest. because I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of creative. If your character has a neck rest as well, then I'm sorry. I didn't mean to copy you or anything. And he's just kind of got his shirt there. And then I'm just gonna put a bunch of tears and some holes. And I'm gonna make it go out a little bit, because the shirt is usually thicker than the body, because otherwise it would fit like a bathing suit or something like that, and that's not very comfortable for anyone. And another thing with the pants, you don't want to, unless it's like a stylistic thing for you, you want to make sure that the legs aren't like this if they're wearing pants, because it's not very comfortable. If you're wearing pants like this, it is squeezing your unmentionable, and that is not very comfortable for anyone. So usually what I do is I just kind of take it from my own pants, I guess, and I just kind of make it like a triangular shape. Again, it's a stylistic thing, so if you're just doing that as a stylistic thing, then that's okay, you know. That's just how it be sometimes. And then he's got a belt. I guess that's a belt? I don't really know what it is. It could be like the thing on the pants, but to me it looks like a belt. And his tail, which I'm gonna just lie on the ground, I guess. This one, he's covering it with his arm. Hold on. This is the oldest reference, and obviously it doesn't look very good. I mean, what is going on with his legs, and what is going on with his hands? I'm just like making fun of my old art. So sometimes I might need to rotate the canvas. If you're using Fire Alpaca, it's up here, if you can see that. Hopefully it's actually showing my mouse this time, because I keep meaning to do that, but you know, sometimes it don't do that. And then he kind of has like a, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what my own character, like, I don't even know how he got the tail and the purple tears in the first place. How do I not even know like what my own character is supposed to mean? What is the meaning of life? Anyway, so yeah, that's, other than the expression, that's basically what the simple waving your hand line art is. You know, can you get out of here? I swear to gosh. So yeah, that's basically what it looks like for me. And the expression, I don't usually put these kind of lines on it, because I know where the face is supposed to be. But since it looks kind of helpful right now, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, sit down, be a good boy. Anyway, I'm just gonna make the eyes large. Okay, I am failing with this right now. Oh my gosh, okay. I'll get it. Sometimes the eyes will go over the hair. Sometimes the eyebrows will go over the hair. Usually what I do is, let me draw another example on the side. So this is the eye and this is the hair. And sometimes I'll put the eye over the hair and the eyebrow. And what I'll do with the iris and pupil is I'll kind of put that under the hair, just so you kind of get a general idea of the expression, but also making it look like so that you can't see the eye over the hair. I don't know, I kind of started doing that recently. Now, a thing I have trouble with is perspective, like making sure that the character is looking in the right direction. And apparently, I actually nailed it this time on the first try. And you can do different shapes for the noses. I kind of just do an anime style nose. And the mouth looks like it needs to be moved up a little bit. And usually I don't give any characters facial features unless it's like a prominent part of their character. Like a mustache or something, or freckles even. I don't usually do that. I just kind of do this, I guess. Anyway, this is the line art. Now, I'm also gonna shade it because I just feel like it. I'm gonna not involve this one. I'm sorry, man. This is usually the easiest part, just coloring in the character. And no, I don't do the selection and then grabbing the color and then doing the giant pen and coloring it in. That just seems like too much work for me. I mean, maybe it's a little better, but honestly, I don't want to do that. It just seems like too much work, honestly. I'll just, oh, sorry. I didn't, why did I apologize? Sometimes I'll just do, like, random colors at random points. So right now is the kind of tedious part where sometimes there'll be those little white, tiny little white gaps, and you just have to use the pen to fill it in. Because if you don't fill it in, let me get a really spiky thing. Then we'll do this in the background. Let's say that it's green. I don't know. Is that? Hold on. Let me try something a little more spiky. I think that'll be better. So yeah, if you do that, then you can see a bunch of transparent gaps, and it just doesn't look great on the final thing. So you want to make sure to avoid doing that and fill in all the gaps you can. I used to just ignore it, thinking that it wasn't a big deal, but it ended up being a pretty big deal. So yeah, just make sure that you're doing that if you have that kind of issue with your drawing program. I mean, I wouldn't really call it an issue. It's just kind of a thing that it does. And just grab the skin color. Oh, right, the pupils. I forgot the pupils. It depends on how big the character's eyes are. But for this, I'm going to do a 7 pen, and I just kind of do a straight down line for that. And what I do for the eyes, again, is I kind of split it in half. I do a darker color on the bottom and a lighter color on the top, which I know probably isn't correct because a lot of people do the darker color on the top and the lighter one on the bottom, but I also don't think it looks very correct. So, because it's like the light is coming from up here, so I don't know. I mean, not always. Sometimes it could be coming from down. But most of the time, it's usually coming from up. Because the sun is up in the sky, not down in the ground. I don't know, that's just me. Usually making sure that the gaps are there on the white is difficult. Because you can't really see it. I don't really know how to change the transparent background color. And I never really need to. And can I stop moving my camera for the love of gosh? Anyway, and I just do that. And I do this. And then the weird translucent part. Looks about 50% translucent. And yeah, I guess I'll shade it as well. So usually what I do for shading is I'll do this little black part at the neck, because it's very dark down there, as I've noticed. And what I do is I'll either do gray or like a darker version of that color, and I'll just start doing shading based on where the lighting is. Can you get out of here? I swear to gosh. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna just... Maybe I should have turned off my Shimeji before I started, but honestly I thought it would be pretty good humorous moments. So what I do is I make it transparent to the point where it looks natural. And about 35% for here is natural. I don't usually shade the eyes. Sometimes I do. And in this case, I'm gonna do. Anyway. And I'll just kind of shade wherever it needs to be shaded. And just do that. Now this part, I will just kind of shade in random places. And in there completely, mostly completely. I feel like the tear amount is a little unnatural, but I don't really care because I'm not really planning to post this to DeviantArt. Oh gosh. Sometimes I might also need to shade the transparent part. Translucent. It's translucent, not transparent. Why is it even called transparent? That seems kind of offensive. Yeah, and then the shirt. And I usually do sharp shading for character shading, which is basically where like it's like a little bit of anti-aliasing, but usually it's not like blurred like that. That's soft shading. This would be sharp shading. Because usually if the neck, if the light source is like, well, if like the light source, can you stop cloning yourself? Oh my gosh. Sorry. If the source that is blocking off the light is near, like say like a tree, usually the shading would be sharper, and the more farther away it gets, the softer it'll become. Can you get out of here? So just keep that in mind when you're shading. If something's more far away, then like the farther away a shadow gets, I'll do a shadow here as well because I feel like it. Yeah, just keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're drawing and shading. And sometimes, yeah, sit down. They always find their way onto this monitor. It's kind of annoying because I'm trying to draw here. Yeah, let's just do shadows there. And on the shoe, so. And the hair. I completely forgot about the hair. Usually I keep it to one layer unless I need to do another layer. But usually I keep the shading to one layer. Because like I only use 5 layers so far. Like why use more layers than you need? Honestly, like I've seen people using like 300 layers. Like sure if you need it, but like anyway, the eye shine usually goes on top of the outlines, and it's just kind of a line using either the 10 or the 7 pen, and I just kind of make it transparent. And the shadow, oh we can combine those two now. The shadow is a little bit difficult, but for this I'm just going to do a circle. And I'm going to do it a little bit soft because it's kind of close but not really. And sometimes I'll use the blur tool and other times I'll go to filter and do Gaussian blur. I don't really know how to say that. And just do that because it seems like it's quicker. And the shadow is also more prominent, like where it starts, I suppose. Like wherever there's contact, like at the feet and the tail, I guess. So that should usually be a little darker and not super soft, but you know, still soft. And then finally we combine all the layers. And then we crop it. And there you go. You got a drawing. So yeah, if you don't really like this strategy of drawing a person, then that's okay with me. But this is just how I draw people, and I'm gonna save this because I wanna keep this because I like it. Anyway, yeah, that's go away. That's basically how I draw people. I hope that if you saw this and you got a few tips out of it, that it will help you with your drawing. And can you stop cloning yourself? Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, that's all for this educational video. Hope you enjoyed. Get off of my monitor. Bye.